So working on the ambulance, it's awesome. And one of the things that makes it so awesome is when you work with someone that you vibe with, someone that you get along with. And in this video, I'm going to break down to you what to do when you end up working with a partner that you do not get along with and does something during a call or not during a call that puts this relationship in jeopardy. And the first thing I would tell you is I've had partners for I've had permanent partners for a grand total of 8 hours. Like, there's been people that I've worked with for 8 hours that after that first shift, I just found a way to not work with this person again. Nothing against them. It's just the way they worked as paramedics did not coincide with the way I worked as a paramedic. And I noticed that the best thing to do is quit while we were ahead and avoid any issues from happening. Right? Now, that's the easiest thing to do. The second thing to do is, if you have no choice but to work with this person, or the schedule change won't go into effect until a little bit later on, then I can share with you what I did and how I handled it. And just to give you a backstory about what happened on my end, I ended up working with this person who used to get into arguments with everybody. Like, no one liked this person. Everyone wanted to physically hurt this person. Like, this guy would argue with females, he would argue with guys. He was just like on everybody's shit list, right? And no one enjoyed his presence. Basically, out of 10 people, 9.5 of them wanted nothing to do with him, right? So this turned out to be my partner on every certain day of the week in a very busy area. And I heard the rumors. I understood what people were telling me, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt. We got on the ambulance together, and the first thing he started doing was just talking bad about people. Like, that was his topic of conversation. It was never like talking about the weather, never talking about any protocol changes. It was always something that had to do with belittling and gossiping about another paramedic. Like, did you hear so-and-so went to intubate during a cardiac arrest and he didn't get the tube? Like, it was just bickering. I didn't want to hear anything that had to do with it. So, you know, whatever, I put up with it because, you know, everyone has different personalities. If that's the topic of discussion that he preferred, then whatever. You know, I would just listen to my headphones and not pay much attention. But there was this one time during a scene of a person who was injured, and the injury was something similar to what you'll see in an action movie or a horror movie, right? Pretty traumatic. There was everybody there: detectives, firefighters, ESU, supervisors. It was one of those calls that when you hear it over the radio, everybody wants to go to see what's going on, to witness it, because it's a call that you don't get on a common basis. And we were assigned to the call. We were the ALS unit. So we get there, we're treating this person, and I'm just like, all right, look, it's a trauma call. We need to get out of here right now. Let's go, right? As we're going, I asked my partner, hey, partner, can you please get the stair chair? Just as a way to expedite things. He felt like I was bossing him around. And in front of everybody, he went ahead and gave me attitude and made it very obvious, to the point where he was being unprofessional and very feminine, I might add. Not that there's anything wrong with being a female, but what I mean by being feminine is that he was just in his emotions. He was just not controlling the way he felt, and he made it very obvious. And he was like whispering under his breath and just acting like a bitch, in my opinion, right? So I was very bothered, and the way I handled this was very, very, very interesting. What I did was I noticed it, and I proceeded to provide patient care. We had to expedite this patient's transport to the hospital. We ended up taking him to the hospital, and amongst that transition of transitioning the patient from his house to the hospital, I took the moment, got in the driver's seat, He was in the back of the bus, and I took the moment to tell him, listen, I'm extremely offended by the way you behaved. I need your undivided attention, and listen to this. You were very unprofessional on scene, and it's obvious. Your actions were not prudent, and don't you ever disrespect me like that ever again in your entire life. Because before being a paramedic, I am a man. You might not be, but I know I am. And don't ever do like that again. And that's it. That's how I handled it. So, long story short, if you handle, or if you're working with somebody, that is just childish, is difficult to deal with, does not meet you halfway, get off the tour with them. Because there's people like that. And if you do have to work with them, keep the relationship professional. Don't talk about anything that has to do with anything besides work. And if you have to call their attention to something that happened, do not curse. Try not to offend. Better yet, don't offend at all. Make yourself clear about what you feel. And on top of that, be stern and don't be a pushover. I could have easily went ahead and wrote an incident report. I could have easily called the supervisor. But I think I got my message across, because after that, never had any other issues. All right, guys. Hopefully you won't have to deal with something similar to this. But if you do, this might be a good way to proceed. If you have any other ways that you consider that'll be a good or better way to do it, feel free to comment down below. If you have any other questions, comment down below. Press like, subscribe, share with someone you think that might benefit from this. I hope this helps. Peace.